What can make a mom whose nature is to nurture turn to starve her child, leading to her demise? This story will let you feel the reality of life a 5 years old Taylor lived, the constant fear of not wanted. Let's listen to the entire story.
In November 2019, the name Taylor Rose Williams reverberated through the halls of our consciousness, a haunting echo of a tragedy too heart-wrenching to bear silently. The 5-year-old girl from Jacksonville, Florida, vanished from her home, igniting a frantic search that culminated in a discovery as grim as it was sorrowful. Her remains were found just weeks later in a wooded area in Alabama. But beyond the chilling headlines and the Amber Alerts, the case of Taylor opens a scathing critique of societal and systemic failures. At its heart stands her mother, Brianna Williams, a Navy petty officer whose juxtaposition as a caretaker in the defense of a nation and the antagonist in the life of her own daughter presents a harrowing paradox. At its heart stands her mother, Brianna Williams, a Navy petty officer whose juxtaposition as a caretaker in the defense of a nation and the antagonist in the life of her own daughter presents a harrowing paradox. The narrative of Taylor Rose Williams is punctuated not only by her tragic demise, but by the labyrinth of legal proceedings and psychological unravelings that followed. The narrative of Taylor Rose Williams is punctuated not only by her tragic demise, but by the labyrinth of legal proceedings and psychological unravelings that followed. It brings to the foreground pivotal questions about the fibers that hold the societal fabric together and the ease with which it can be torn apart by individual and collective negligence. Taylor's story unfolded like a grim tapestry, detailed stitch by distressing stitch, as investigators pieced together the sequence of events leading to her disappearance. Initially reported missing by her mother, the narrative took a sharp turn when inconsistencies in Brianna Williams' account emerged. It was revealed that Taylor had not been seen by anyone other than her mother for months before her disappearance was reported. The search escalated to a multi-state effort, painting a stark picture of the desperation and complex logistics involved in finding a missing child. As details surfaced, a portrait of neglect began to form. It was revealed that Taylor was often left unattended for hours as Brianna juggled the demands of her naval career with single parenthood. This revelation sparked a broader discourse on the isolation and challenges faced by single parents in high-demand jobs. The juxtaposition of Brianna's respectable naval position against her failings as a parent underlined the complex interplay of personal and professional identities. The discovery of Taylor's body shifted the narrative from a missing person investigation to a homicide. The legal proceedings against Brianna Williams invited a nationwide introspection on child welfare, parental responsibility, and the efficacy of the social safety net designed to protect the most vulnerable. Charged with aggravated child neglect and lying to the police, Williams' trial was as much a prosecution of an individual as it was a societal self-examination. How many more Taylors, the public wondered, suffer in silence behind the veneers of normalcy? In the courtroom, the layers of Taylor's short life were dissected amidst legal debates over evidence and testimonies. Each session underscored the harsh truth that our legal frameworks, though robust, often react to tragedies rather than preventing them. This responsiveness rather than proactiveness of the system revealed critical gaps in our social fabric, notably the insufficient mechanisms for detecting signs of child abuse and neglect early on. The verdict, heartbreakingly predictable, was less a closure and more a grievous acknowledgement of a collective failure. As the gavel fell, the ripples were felt far beyond the confines of the courtroom, stirring debates about the need for better parental support systems, more effective child welfare services, and a more vigilant community framework. In reflecting on the tragic saga of Taylor Rose Williams, it is evident that while it may be anchored in specific failures, it highlights expansive, systemic, and societal issues. The case stands as a stark reminder of the critical need for vigilance, compassion, and intervention in the lives of the silent sufferers among us. If anything, Taylor's story urges a revisitation and reinforcement of the structures meant to uphold the sanctity of childhood and safeguard those who cannot yet safeguard themselves. If anything, Taylor's story urges a revisitation and reinforcement of the structures meant to uphold the sanctity of childhood and safeguard those who cannot yet safeguard themselves. With tragedies such as Taylor's, society is compelled to look inward, to identify the cracks through which such stories emerge, and more importantly, to urgently mend them.
And that brings us to the end of the report. brought to you by Horror Crime Stories. Please support our channel, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications to know when we post new stories and events that occur. Thank you for always stopping by, and remember, be vigilant and stay out of crime.